Welcome to ChannelX TV, sponsored by Volo, and delighted to be joined today by Paul, VP of Applied AI at Searce. So welcome, Paul. How are you?
I'm good, Chris, and thank you for having me on this channel. Really help.
Great. Now, just to let people know, what I'm really interested to find out about from you today is location-based services and AI and how retailers can unlock significant opportunities using them and deliver ever better customer services. But before we get into all of that, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do, Paul?
So I'm leading Applied AI for Searce. It's a global technology consulting firm. It's been in the works for 20 years, working across 14 locations in the globe. A lot of industry verticals. Retail CPG is one of our primary verticals as well. Prior to Searce, I was leading AI technology globally for Levi Strauss and Company. So that's the background and the skill that I bring to Searce from a retail standpoint. But I worked in various domains like telecom, e-commerce, high-tech companies as well. And by virtue of me spending 28 years in the field of AI, I've learned it the hard way that it's not easy to take something that is working in sandbox environments to scale in production environments and extract value out of it. So there is a lot that has to be done. I think every retailer and every company is in that journey of extracting the value that AI and the promise that AI has to deliver.
And I wanted to ask about that because there's been some, frankly, astounding technological advances recently, especially in the field of AI. And yet retailers are still struggling to kind of scale engagements with not just their customers, but sometimes also their employees, which you would think would be the easy part. What advice would you have for companies to actually make use of AI? Where is it useful? And what other technological advances are there that they should be looking at?
I would say retailers, retail has been there for more than 200, 300 years, right? That was people going to the shops and independent shops, and the shopkeeper used to know people very well, right? So there's more relationship based. But as with the advent of internet in 2000, everything was digital. There were different ways by which you could reach out to the customers, and so now retailers would want to have their products in the living rooms of the customers rather than having the customers come into the store. And that created another level of investments from the companies to have digital experiences across all the channels and across all the apps that are built on these outbound technologies. But what they missed out on is the core. And the core of the business is supply chain. It's about inventory management. It's about reducing the time to market of the products that you have to build. And the investments between the front-end experiences versus the core of the business, it was disproportionate. That led to disjointed experiences. Even if we talk about omni-channel experiences across various different channels, the back-end systems are still not as nimble as possible in order to change and pivot based on the demand that we see or the experiences that the customer is looking for in the front-end standpoint. And then from that perspective, if you have a way by which you have all of these interactions tracked from a data standpoint and have a single view of what is happening with the customer as well as your product, as well as how the product is moving through your own backend systems, that gives you a beautiful way of understanding what's happening in the marketplace. And that's something that now retailers are embarking on, which is called unified commerce, wherein you're not just talking about omni-channel experience in the front end, but also tying that back into your core business processes and then modifying it so that you're more hyper focused on what the customer needs as compared to what you can deliver to the customer. So I think that pivot is happening. And AI becomes even more powerful because there are three elements to any transformation. One is digital. And I'm sure that most retailers have some shape and form of digital presence somewhere. But digital generates data. And typically, the investment in data is always an afterthought by companies. So data investments lag behind. And so the richness of the data and the trust that people have in terms of the quality of the data is not as significant as how digital experiences are. But then, typically, we should understand that data makes AI possible. AI cannot exist unless you have good quality data. And then AI makes digital smarter. And that is the flywheel that retailers have to understand, that digital generates data, data makes AI possible, and AI makes digital smarter. And the retailers who have gone through that cycle of making it better and better as they unlock value of AI based on all of these three elements with investments equally in all of these parts, have been the retailers who are in the forefront of disruption as compared to the laggards who still trying to struggle and figure out how do we get all of these aspects together to drive AI at scale.
No, I think this is really interesting. And I have to be honest, you talking about tying the back end, where is the product, is one of my biggest frustrations when I might ring a store and say, have you got this in stock? And they don't know if they've got it in stock in the right size. So how can retailers kind of join location-based services along with artificial intelligence to kind of mesh that online and offline together and deliver a kind of seamless in-store experience, or online, depending which mood I am of how I want to shop?
Yeah. I think that is where the beauty of location intelligence and AI coming together actually helps, because your inventory is flowing through various different touch points, right from sourcing the material to manufacturing the material to then eventually getting that shipped to your distribution centers and then to your retail stores or e-commerce, right? So there is a value chain of how inventory flows through the system, and these are not manufactured in a single location. It's across the globe. And so how do you track inventory? How do you track inventory and then use location data to understand, are there external disruptions beyond your control that could actually disrupt your entire supply chain? And we know COVID, we know the red channel where ship was stuck and inventories are all blocked. That is one way by which, one, using location data to understand where the inventory is in the pipeline, and then using AI to then forecast what is the possible ETA of that inventory to the desired location and how much time will it take. So that is one aspect of it. And the second aspect of location intelligence and how it comes to play is understanding where the demand is, because you can build the product, but if you're not shipping to the right locations where you have actual demand for that product, then your inventory carrying cost is going to be significantly larger. And most retailers struggle because the inventory carrying cost becomes significantly larger and they have to discount the products along the way, right, in order to get the new inventory stuff into the distribution stores. So having your applications or your web applications where customers come and search for products online have store locators in it, have location intelligence in terms of which stores have what product tied into it. And then when the customers are looking for information, you already know, based on if they are your existing returning customers, you know what they're looking for, what kind of information, what kind of products they are looking for in the retail stores that are nearby. Based on that, based on the footfall of the people coming in, both you leveraging external data with your tie-ups with other vendors, maybe telecom providers or others who have a lot of location data with the phones that they provide and services that they provide, and with your application that have locations baked into it, you're able to triage the traffic and the kind of products that the customer is looking for. So that is one way of mashing up AI and location intelligence to have hyper-personalized micro assortments into your retail stores or into the geographies that you are online presence online, to drive a clear view of having the supply meet the demand so that you have inventory just in time to sell it off. So that's how I would possibly think. And the other one is there is reverse logistics as well. So there is a lot of customer returns that come in. Now, if your product is good, definitely no, but there would be.
In fashion, there's always going to be.
There's always going to be, right? So how do you tie up your supply chain, which is your delivery of new goods into that store, and mash it up with the returns? And which store are these getting returned to? So there is a way by which you could optimize your inventory flow so that you are having the right quantity of inventory, which is then divvied up with the inventory that is coming back in, so that you are not getting overstocked at the retail stores, wherein the demand for that product could be online or somewhere else. So that's the other way of thinking about location intelligence and AI. I think the third thing that I also think is very important is that retailers who have a digital presence on e-com and a physical presence, owned and operated stores, they have to manage inventory between what inventory pool should be served on the e-com website versus on the retail store. And more often than not, all the e-com orders are served from a distribution center. So it is centrally housed. But then you also know that not all inventories are available in the distribution centers, because depending upon your AI logic, you have micro-assorted your products to different geographies, different stores. So if I have to serve my digital order, which I know that the customer is definitely going to spend X amount of money to me, and if it's not on the retail store, or sorry, on the distribution center, can I leverage the stock on the retail store to serve the e-com orders? And how can I do it? And that is all location intelligence in terms of where your products is at any point in time, live inventory mashup, and then marrying it up with the location of the customer, and then optimizing your split shipment so that you're not sacrificing on the EBIT margins for it, but you're also capitalizing on the product that are not going to move from the retail store in time before the next set of products come into the store. So there is a lot of synergies between AI, location intelligence and AI.
And I think this is really interesting because once you know where your stock is and what stock you've got in each individual store and territory, it opens up all sorts of geomarketing opportunities. How can retailers leverage AI to absolutely supercharge their geomarketing and increase customer engagement?
Chris, that's really one of those marquee use cases that retailers could leverage, and thank you for bringing it up. Geofencing allows you to look at customers who are coming into that geofence at any point in time, and as they come in, the retailers near the vicinity have a way by which they could use location intelligence to hyper personalize the kind of offers that they can give to drive traffic into their store. Now those, along with location intelligence that provide weather information, location intelligence that provide nearby events that are happening, and mashing up all of that together as data to create offers or create possible discounting mechanics to drive more traffic into the store. So that is one way of thinking about it. Second, if they have loyal customers and returning customers that they have, and they're part of the loyalty program, sometimes it is, as the customers pass through, a reminder saying that there is a new launch of the product, or there is new collaboration that has happened, and because of which there are marquee products that are in there. Or if the product that they were searching was not available back in the time, and now it is available in the nearby store and they are moving out, it's another way of actually doing those and telling the customers that, oh, you're near to the store, we already have the product ready, come in and pick up. That's one way of doing it. The second thing is, people could actually click the product and they are moving, and depending upon where they are near to the store, if the product is available, they could actually pick up. Not necessarily telling that I'm going to pick up from this store, because if you already lock in the store, then you are stuck because you cannot plan around it, right?
Yeah.
So making it flexible enough to click, and then will help you understand and give you the information about what is the nearest store that you can pick up based on where you are in the proximity region of the store. So geofencing is one of those key capabilities that location intelligence provides, mashed up with a lot of external data that goes along with the location, that allows you to be more hyper personalized and supercharge your experiences that the customer would want to have or expect to have in the new age from any retailer, because there's a lot of information that the customers are allowing the retailers to use to make it more personal from an experience standpoint.
Paul, this is fascinating. For those that want to know more, what does Searce do, and what can you do to help retailers?
So we work with retailers to one moonshot as to what is the art of the possible. We have practices, we have location intelligence, we have data analytics, we have AI, and we have the expert engineering excellence to bring all of this to life without you sweating around how it has to be done. We bring a lot of external knowledge because we work with 4,000 plus customers globally across the world. And there is a lot of learnings in terms of how we can accelerate time to value, is one other aspect of how we work with the customers. We are an outcome-driven organization, which is, we are not engaging with the customer just to build some shiny toy that could actually be used in a conference for them to say and claim that they do AI, versus we actually go in and then engage with the customer to identify the use cases that have significant revenue impact, either from a top line standpoint or bottom line, which is cost saving. So across document AI, generative AI, custom models, location intelligence, and bringing all of these different aspects together to make it possible for the companies. For people who are and we meet them where they are in the journey of AI, because not every company is mature enough along the way. So one, the philosophy that we have is start small. So first is think big. So we have to have a vision. We help the companies to have that moonshot. Then we identify opportunities that we can start small and unlock value for the company so that they can build trust in terms of what needs to be done. We come in and also help with what does it take for the companies to drive AI at scale. So it is not just about AI. It's about people, because there's a lot of change management that has to come into place. There's a lot of process change that needs to happen as well, because AI makes processes simple. And if you're still tied up with complicated process in your backend, it doesn't allow AI to scale. So we come in and do a lot of those aspects from a futurify standpoint, and then we implement that at scale for them, and then help them build frameworks that allow them to measure impact or measure revenue impact, and put that entire mechanics together for them to then do it consistently as a flywheel.
Paul, this has been fascinating. We'll put links below this video to the Searce website, so anyone that wants to find out more can. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Chris. It was wonderful talking to you.